Greetings. I am Dr. Steve Gowden III, the Vice Chair of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I'm excited today to welcome you to another episode of Real Talk with Dr. Steve Gowden III. This is an opportunity for us to engage educators and community stakeholders in one of the most important areas that we face in our country, and that is the education of our children. I'm excited today because I have one of the most extraordinary individuals here, one of the outstanding educators, not only in District 1, not only in the Miami-Dade County Public Schools, but I believe throughout the nation, Miss Tanisha Cidel. You'll be hearing more from her and about the work that she's done over the past several years, and quite frankly, her entire career that has really been dedicated to the arts and to uplifting and educating children. We also have today Alyssa Scott, one of her outstanding students from Norland Middle School. I want to say the Norland Middle School. When you're talking about arts extraordinaire, you're talking about Norland Middle School in District 1, and you're going to hear a lot of great things about what they've accomplished in the past, what they're working on currently, and what they see for the future as it relates to arts and education, and just the overall landscape as it relates to preparing our children beyond the classroom, beyond the schoolhouse, and for successful, passionate, and purposeful careers in the entertainment industry, but again, using arts as a solid foundation. So again, with no further ado, I'm excited to welcome Miss Tanisha Cidel, Norland Middle School. Welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Also, we have Alyssa Scott here. She's an 8th grader for Norland Middle School, and she's a part of the drama program as well. Welcome, Alyssa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Let's just cut to the chase. I am so excited. When I conceptualized this show, I started to contemplate guests that I wanted to come on to really talk about the nuts and bolts about what we do in education. I thought about you and the work that you've done in the arts at Norland Middle School and what really has transcended your work at the school, your work in the community, your work in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, but your work, your footprint, your canvas is being displayed across this world. We often talk about in education, having spent 30 years, that we have an opportunity to create ripples and oceans, to plant seeds for fruits that we will never see grow. But you have been blessed, Ms. Cidel, to see some of the seeds that you've planted to grow tremendously, successfully in the area of the arts and entertainment. So tell the audience, who is Miss Tanisha Cidel?
Well, thank you so much for having me again. I am just a person who is excited about, who continues to be excited about children. That really is my passion, has always been. And I just mesh the two, the arts and my passion with that and with children. I started here, been born here in Miami-Dade County, went through public school, every public school in District 1. I went to Rainbow Park Elementary for the magnet program there, then I matriculated to Norland Middle. I was a theater student there. And then went on to New World School of the Arts, went to FAMU, Rattlers.
Right, that's right.
And came back to really, just try to implement the arts more in my community. So I started out at the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center, which we know is a beacon of hope for the arts in Liberty City. I worked there for 2 years. And then I received a call that Norland Middle was looking for a theater teacher. And I was like, oh, I can go back home, So I went there, got the job there, and it's been great ever since. I've been there for 21 years. And I was just thinking about that. Like, wow, that's a long time. But I've been there, one school, for 21 years. Maybe about 5 years ago now, I received a call from Barry Jenkins and Andrew Hevia, both products of the Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Barry called me from LA and was like, hey, I hear you have a great program at Norland Middle. I'm doing a little movie. I'll be there in a couple weeks. I'd love to meet with you and see if there are any students, that can be a part of this film. And so, when people say, I'm going to do a movie, you're like, okay, what movie are you going to do? Because frankly, you have a lot of people coming to contact you about what they want to do and they want to use the kids. And so he went on to continue to talk, and then he said, yes, one of our backers, our producers, is Brad Pitt. And so I was like, wait a minute now, Brad Pitt, okay. Continue. And so I spoke to Mr. Redmond, who was the principal at the time, and he allowed me to go and meet with the producers. So we went to meet with them. And they gave me a script. I still have the Moonlight, original Moonlight script that they gave me. Gave me that script, and they said, hey, I want you to look at it. They told me what was in it and what was really important to them. And they said, maybe some of your students could audition.
You see, definitely want to talk about that. I mean, I want to spend some time talking about Moonlight. Moonlight really was an inspiration, and it really provided a concrete example of how the arts can serve as not only a pathway for learning and engagement, but a professional pathway for young people. You've been tremendously blessed to realize your passion. You talked about Rainbow Park, you talked about Norland Middle School, you talked about New World School of the Arts, and you definitely talked about the university on the highest of 7 hills, FAMU, our alma mater. But what you also demonstrated is that at a very young age, we can plant seeds of hope, interest, passion, and opportunity in our students that can really provide them a pathway for a professional career. And you've been able to balance both, and I want to talk about that. Alyssa Scott, when you hear Miss Cidel talk about her passion and her level of engagement in the arts, and I know you are dazzled each and every day by the magic that she creates at Norland Middle School, but you're also fully aware as an 8th grader about her professional accomplishments as well. How do you square her start in elementary school, moving forward in middle school, in high school, at the university level, her ability to be able to find a career pathway for now 21 years, I know that's a long time for you, over 2 decades, her portfolio in the industry, her track record in education? How do you look at that from your vantage point as a student, being involved in the arts, looking at it as a career pathway, but also a tremendous opportunity for you to realize your dreams, hopes, and life's work on the big screen, the small screen, or any screen? What does that say to you when you look at your teacher, Miss Cidel, and what she's accomplished?
Okay. When I look at Miss Cidel, I see, first of all, a very strong and intelligent woman. It gives me a chance to learn from her because she has succeeded in the arts. She has been on Moonlight. She's been on David Makes Man. And I feel like her experience helps teach all of the students that she teaches, so she's able to pour knowledge into her students. And then it really carries on everything that she learns. She's giving back to all of these wonderful students who can then go on and become amazing adults.
Yeah, I'm going to push you a little more. Absolutely. Amazing work, amazing track record. But one of the things that we share is that we've been young people too. Okay, we've been where you are. And we work with young people, myself over 3 decades, Ms. Cidel over 2 decades. One of the challenges that young people face is their inability to really see the possibilities of their life for the future now. Right. You follow what I'm saying? Yes. To see the possibilities for their lives in the future, but to see it now. There's a statement with an organization that talks about young black men, and it simply says, what they see is what they'll be. Very often, young people can't really conceptualize the possibilities of their lives because of the daily challenges that they face now. You all have the benefit, and in some cases, people believe the curse of the right now moment. I talked about it previously that microwaves did not exist at a certain point in my life. You all have technology beyond our wildest imagination. Things happen immediately, instantaneously. So when you look at Miss Cidel and you look at where you are right now and your other peers look at where they are right now, it's always amazing to me to have a role model, a person who has sat where you're sitting as an arts student, has gone on to matriculate through the public school system, through the university system, and to be able to explore and experience successfully a dual track as a career educator, but also as one in the entertainment industry with a track record of film and television. How does that resonate with you? To be able to look at her and know that she has done it, she has the portfolio, she has the receipts. How does that resonate with you in terms of where you are right now, being able to patiently but faithfully patiently but faithfully project and plan for your life in the future.
Okay, so it helps me know that I'm on the right track because she has had experience. You have people who can teach you and they've never done it before, so they can't really effectively teach you how to do something if they've never done it before. So since she's done it before, since she's been in movies and TV shows, I know that she has that experience so that she can really give me everything that I need to be successful in future endeavors.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's talk about that experience. Let's talk about that experience. What do you aspire to do as it relates to your experience, your passion, your pursuit in the arts? How long have you been involved in the arts? We know about Miss Cidel, started out at Rainbow Park. Tell us a little bit about Alyssa Scott. How did you come to be an art student in the amazing drama magnet program at Norland Middle School? How did your journey begin?
Okay, so I've always been a very expressive child. I've done dance, I've been in Theodore Gibson Oratorical, but I started my journey with Miss Cidel in 7th grade.
Okay.
I did not start in 6th because I was just getting there. I just wanted to like get to know the school, you know? But I started in 7th grade, and I have grown so much from 7th grade, and it's just really amazing how much you can learn in such a short amount of time.
You know, I would have, and I'll say this is called real talk. And throughout these moments, I go through periods of reflection on my own life. And I really unmask who I am and what I've experienced. If I had a Miss Cidel in my life, I may not be sitting here right now. I may be sitting in my multi-million-dollar estate, looking at my Oscars, my Emmys, because I initially, believe it or not, I started on a pathway toward exploring the arts at a very young age, very young age. My parents introduced me to piano. They introduced me to dance. And they also introduced me to theater. People really don't know that. It was called the Ruth Foreman Theater. I don't know if you're old enough to recall that, Miss Cidel. It was at FIU, the Ruth Foreman Theater. It was an opportunity for urban students to be involved in a theatrical program. And I actually starred in a theatrical production. And you may have a little homework. It was a play called The Me Nobody Knows. And your teacher's reacting to that. I was Benjamin in that play. And the irony about that play was it was about inner city students having hopes, dreams, and aspirations despite some of the challenges that they face with crime, violence, drugs, and economics in the 70s. But I fell off. I didn't have anybody to continue to hold my hand and guide me through that particular process. I even thought I was pretty good. It was a song that they had on there, Miss Cidel, called If I Had $1 Million, Tell You What I Do. And that's a play, really award-winning play. So I understand the importance of having a Miss Cidel in your life, a teacher who has done it, who has the receipts, who can give you concrete examples about what it will take, but what you can achieve. And you represent so many students whose lives she's touched and whose pathways she's helped to map out. So let's speak about pathways, Miss Cidel. Translating experiences from a classroom, and I'll say it on Real Talk, at one point, which was an inadequate instructional space. What that means, Alyssa, is that the space was not suitable for her to do all that she can and all that you all need. It was inadequate, but despite that, she created magic. And she created magic that transitioned our students, our school, our district, this nation, and quite frankly, this world into a production called Moonlight. Miss Cidel, tell us how that came to be.
Yes.
Barry Jenkins, I know Barry Jenkins, Miami Northwestern
That's
graduate.
right.
Barry
That's right,
Jenkins,
Barry
shout
Jenkins.
out.
And I still have contact with him.
Yes.
He's wonderful. He called me from LA and, was really interested in trying to get kids for this little film, I call it the little film that could, that he was going to do. And he had backers like Brad Pitt, like I mentioned, and A24, okay, which is a production company that now, is amazing. And so I met with him and the producers. I received a script from them to read it. I read the script. I was like, wow, I've never seen this story before. And then one day we took 23 of, all the boys in the program, 23 boys to Florida Memorial University on a Saturday to audition for him. So we took them all, and he came out to me and he said, Miss Cidel, I have to say this. He said, I've seen a lot in LA. I have never seen the type of discipline, the type of professionalism from these students. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And that just really resonated with me. It really made me think, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm a little stern, as some of my students may say, but I'm doing the right thing. So anyway, fast forward, he called about 8 of them back. So a callback is the next level to an audition. And it means, okay, you have something, we see something in you, we want to make sure that we see you again, okay? So the boys went back for the callback. But before they did that, I changed the curriculum for that day because I was like, we have to practice, we have to rehearse this. We rehearsed in class, I went over every beat, we went over everything for all of the students to get an opportunity to see. And when I saw Alex Hibbert, when we worked together in that science lab, it was a science lab at the time. When we worked together, he was so authentic and just so natural and so honest. I knew when I saw him, he was going to get it. I knew it.
How many were they looking for?
They were looking for maybe a total of 8 to 10. So they had 2 leads.
Yeah, leads,
right,
yes.
The 2 leads, and then they had 6 other boys who served as, in the classroom with them or running behind them or, in different various ways. So they took all of them.
So you started out with, what was the total?
23.
23, looking for 8, 2 leads.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and all of them got a chance to be in the film. Even those kids who auditioned and didn't necessarily get a speaking role, they were still able to come and be a part of the cast as an extra, and things of that nature. So it was great.
Yeah, we know Alex. I
Yes.
love Alex.
Yes.
I love all of the
Right.
children that you develop. I have a shirt with Alex's picture on it,
Yeah.
so we know Alex. Who was the other lead?
Jaden Piner.
Jaden
Piner,
okay.
right. So he is actually a senior now at American High School.
Okay.
And so, yes, they went there and we filmed it. And the day that they were able to film all of the scenes, I went down there as well to really kind of see for myself what's going on and to kind of be there to motivate the students. Listen, make sure you're quiet on set. Remember what we did in class. This is your opportunity to do it here. And so while I was there, one of the producers asked me, Miss Cidel, would you like to be in the film? And I said, sure, whatever you need, Andrew. If you need me to walk by, I'll do whatever you need. An extra? He was like, no, I need you. I'm going to give you some lines. So he gave me the lines. And, the rest is history. We were able to do that film. Went on for a whole year of award ceremonies, and it was a wonderful time. But the most important thing that I want people to understand about that is that, Alex Hibbert started as a 5th grader. And when he auditioned and came into the room, I don't tell this story often, but when he auditioned and came into the room, he was brilliant, right? However, his grades, his conduct was not good. And in the magnet program, we have to make sure that the kids have good grades and good conduct. But I was like, there's something about this boy. I said, Mr. Redmond, I have to have this boy. I don't know where he's gonna go, but he is special. And so I said, hey, let me talk to your mom. I talked to his mom. I said, listen, I want him to really go back to school and do all he can to get better grades and conduct. I'm going to call you. I'm going to try to make sure that he's on the right track. He did that. He went from C's, D's, and F's to A's and B's. And you know what that was? Hope.
Hope.
It was hope, because he knew he was coming into a program that would stir up his gift. And that's really my message, when I saw that.
Was he what elementary school he came from? Do you recall?
I
know
don't
you have so many.
remember.
And this was prior to him getting into middle school?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
Right.
this was almost a condition of him being admitted?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, you know, the rest is history. But that is an indicator that so many students that we have out here, we kind of pass them by, oh, they're getting bad grades, or they're this or that, and we put labels on them. But if they have hope, that's all they need is hope. And they will aspire to whatever you believe them to be, they will believe with you. You know what I mean? And that's just been my motto in class.
And was Alex involved in the arts prior to trying to get into your program as a
No.
elementary school student?
No.
So the transition into the arts started at Norland Middle School
Right.
with his application to get into the drama program.
That's right.
As a catalyst to potentially change. Alyssa,
Absolutely.
you mentioned that you just got in the 7th grade, correct?
Yes.
So you weren't involved in any drama type programs? I know you did the dance.
I would do separate stuff that'll be related to theater, but I've never done just theater. Like,
Talk to me about it now. How do you feel about it? Talk to me about your experience right now.
I just love it. Like, it's a way for kids who don't know how to express themselves. It's an outlet for them to express themselves. And it's not just theater. It's not just going in front of a camera and acting. It helps you with social skills. It helps you with stage fright. It helps you with talking in front of a crowd, which are basic life skills that even if you're not an actress or an actor,
Absolutely.
you're just gonna need those in life. Like, and it can really help you just grow so much. So, yeah.
Alyssa, you just nailed it. I mean, oh my God. Many people would deduce what Miss Cidel and quite frankly what education in the arts does relative to acting on a stage, acting in a play, acting in front of a screen. But you really reduced that. Quite frankly, you amplified the importance of it to the need for young people to learn to express themselves. The pandemic has taught us a lot of things, and some of the things that it's brought forth are concepts and realities about social, emotional health and well-being. You talked about social skills, and that the arts provides a platform for those skills to be developed, expressed, and improved. So I think it's so important that people understand that it's not just about entertainment. Basically, what you just said is that it's about life. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. And how have you and your peers translated some of those skills that you're acquiring through Ms. Cidel in the arts educational program to real life? Do you have any examples of how this has enabled you or some of your peers to learn to cope, to communicate, to collaborate, and to engage?
Yeah, so basically, when we first came to Norland Middle School, we didn't really know how to ask someone if you were okay, how to just make new friends, how to be social, basically. So theater helps you, like if you see someone sitting by themselves and sad, hey, are you okay? That's something that drama helps you get the confidence to do, because before theater, you probably would have been too shy or too closed off to do that.
In this is now your second year?
Yes.
Have you been involved in any productions as of yet?
Yes, so this year we've done competitions, state and district competitions. I was a part of, we performed from Carrie.
Okay.
It's a musical. And I also performed a monologue. So.
Okay, tell me about it. What was your character? What did you do? What did you express?
Okay, so I did a monologue from a play called This Is Our Youth. I played a character named Jessica. She's a very, I would describe her as hurt. She went through an experience that was it backfired on her, basically. And in state competition, I got a superior, which is like an A, basically. Okay. And then in district competition, I got an A, and in state, I got an A. But in state, I got Critics' Choice, which is what they pick out of all the monologues. They pick the best monologue, and they give it Critics' Choice. So
Just being humble, but she's a state winner. So she did a wonderful job.
Okay.
Wonderful job.
Okay. Wonderful job. And that's at the district and the state level.
yes.
Okay. What did you learn from that character?
when you play different roles, you learn different emotions. So, say for example, if your character was happy and just very up and bubbly and like this, that can help you when you're talking to somebody just to be happy and bubbly. And if you're sad and if your character is sad or depressed, when you're sad or depressed, you have that extra support to know what to say, what to do when you're sad or depressed. So,
Do you find it a challenge? Miss Cidel mentioned Alex Hibbert and his initial impediment relative to doing what he needs to do academically. Mm-hmm. How have you been able to balance your academics in the overwhelming, I'm sure with Miss Cidel, the overwhelming commitment to being prepared to win a Superior, to win a Critics' Choice? That means you came ready. It wasn't about getting ready. You stayed ready. You were ready, and you did that. You did that. How do you balance that from the academic standpoint? Because I know that they say certain, and I was a high school principal at Northwestern, let me just put that in, and we have the Payback Drama Program. And I would always have to, every now and then, run away some of the students in that program from the Payback department because they should be in English, they should be in social studies, they should be in math. I'm like, wait a minute. It's like I've seen you like the last 3 periods still back here. This is not your schedule for the whole day. But they were gravitating toward their passion. Mm-hmm. And they really just enjoyed the camaraderie, the friendships, the relationships, the common interests around the arts. But there needed to be a balance. They needed to get to that English class. They needed to get to that algebra class, that economics class. How do you balance as a student your interest in the arts, your need to prepare, the demands of that particular program with the academic requirements that you have on the other side?
Time management and also getting the most out of the class. So different grade levels have theater at different periods of the day. I have theater at the end of the day because I'm an 8th grader. So it's really just getting the most out of the class, getting all the information, getting everything that you can learn, because I'm trying to be prepared for high school because I am attending Miami Northwestern for Payback Drama, and I also will be on the track team. So, and also that's another thing, time management in and out of school. So, drama, go home, then prepare for practice. When you get home, you got to do homework, you have to prepare for drama, got to make sure that your grades stay right. So, yeah, it's just a lot of time management, it's a lot of commitment, and just a lot of learning.
And she's done a wonderful job with that. She's on the principal's honor roll. Just very, very successful.
Well-rounded student.
Very well.
What do you do in the track and field?
Discus and shot put.
Okay. Are you good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Who do you perform? What team are you on right now? The middle school?
Yes.
Okay.
Track season is over now, though.
Okay. Talk about time management. Talk about preparation. I want to kind of get back to Moonlight. You kind of talked about Alyssa being humble, and you said, yeah, we won a little awards and we did a few things. This was the recipient of the Oscar for the best picture, the best motion picture. You talked about the Superior, you talked about Critics' Choice. This was the crescendo in the movie industry, the little movie that could. And I recall here, I don't know if I just had a vision about what it would be, but I definitely had a strong affinity, a great degree of respect and admiration for what you were doing. And I actually brought you all down to the school board to acknowledge your participation in Moonlight before it became what it became.
That's right.
I saw it,
That's
I
right.
recognized it, I applauded it before everybody else did. And I remember, as a part of my preparation list, I couldn't recognize and acknowledge them for participating in a movie that I hadn't seen. And it was on limited screens, believe it or not. It wasn't at Aventura.
Exactly.
It wasn't at the flagship programs. It wasn't even on Lincoln Road. I went to see this movie over in Wynwood.
Wow. Oh,
at a small theater in Wynwood, and I saw it, not many people were there because it wasn't what it would become. Very compelling story, very powerful story. But talk to us about your sense of what that movie could be, not simply as an opportunity, but what you saw that film becoming as a national, international phenomenon. Did you see it coming, and what was that like?
You know, when I read the script, and you know, when you read scripts, when they are so fluid and you can literally imagine in your mind, that's how you know you have a good script. And I could imagine each of those scenes, those scenarios in my mind. And I said, wow, this is something. And of course, Terrell McCraney wrote the original story, product of Dade County Public Schools. And I believed in the story. I thought the story was just a wonderful story that had not been told as of yet. And told from a different vantage point, a different, of course, from Miami, which is wonderful. But you know, usually when you have films from Miami, you see one part of Miami. This time you were able to see a different part and understand the struggle that some of Miamians go through. And so, as you know, because we were brought down to O Cinema in Wynwood to see it,
that's it, yeah.
O Cinema, and I probably cried. I probably cried at the end of it. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be something special. Did I know it would be, you know, Golden Globe winner and Oscar winner? No, I can't say that I did. But I knew it was something special, and I knew that I was proud to be a part of it because so many of the people that I knew and knew they had come through the arts education in Miami-Dade County Public Schools were a part of it. I mean, from the producers to the director to the story writer, everybody was a part of this. And they were all from Miami-Dade County Public Schools, arts and education. And that spoke loudly to me, that, you know, here in Miami-Dade, we give the best arts and education anywhere. And I really felt that way. I, of course, went through it, and then I saw the product of what it could be.
Yeah. I call this real talk because there are some moments, and I always get to that particular moment, and we're about to get there, where I really deal with some issues and some topics that may not be as motherhood and apple pie. They're uneasy topics. They're part of what we often call in education courageous conversations. Right. And those conversations are usually around race. But I think what we've seen over the past several years, and even most recently in the legislature, are efforts to diminish conversations, awareness, acknowledgement around topics in schools with school children around sexuality. Not to give away Moonlight for those who have not seen it, it is a film whose lead characters are African American men in an urban core, inner city, Miami. But the significant topic deals with sexuality. Right. And it deviates very sharply from what has been highlighted as black male masculinity, yes. Black male promiscuity, if you will, with women to a greater extent. It is not that film. Yeah. It is not that film. It is not the film that reflects many of the topics that we hear in inflammatory rap lyrics. Right. It was a totally different topic, so you are very much aware. Fast forward, the legislature just actually passed a bill that disallows those kinds of topics to come up in instructional discussions by teachers. Not to push you into that space of, you know, taking a side on that particular issue. I believe in love, I believe in love, I believe in love, and I believe in people having a right to fully express themselves in their lives and love who they choose. We're all children under the same God, Absolutely. And that is real talk for me. It is not something that I just say publicly, but I am a defender of anybody who has the right to be who God has allowed them to be, and I just say that unapologetically. That being said, how does that enable you to now square content, the arts with different topics? So for example, back then one would say potentially, maybe one out of millions, but not us, not me. Children should not even participate in a production that deals with that particular topic. You get into academic freedom, you get into other issues. Have you had any thought around some of those recent topics that come up and how as an educator do you feel? I'm not asking you what you plan to do about it. How do you
Right.
feel about that from an artistic standpoint? Because people in the arts have always been respected, regarded, and understood to be able to express themselves in ways that may not be popular,
Right.
to deal with topics that may not be universal, but to be given that freedom of expression from an artistic standpoint. Academic freedom aside, from an artistic standpoint, to be able to express themselves through the arts. Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
I know I said a lot, but go ahead.
No, yes. And like I said before, it was a story that had not been told, people that had not been seen. And I feel like if we lead with love, Dr. Gallen, that's really all we need to do. If we lead with love and compassion, no matter what you think about, right? Whatever your particular opinion is, if you lead with love, that should guide you. That should guide you, rather. And that's what I try to do. Of course, we have students from all backgrounds. We have students who have all kinds of things going on with them, and they're struggling. How can I turn a blind eye to that? What can I do to make sure that they understand that they're loved no matter what, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from? It's about love. And I think sometimes we forget. I'm a little emotional about that.
Absolutely.
Because we forget. We forget. So what happens to the student who may be dealing with something like that? You just don't say anything. You don't pour into them. You don't tell them that you see them. I don't feel good about that at all. I really don't.
And because this is real talk,
Yeah.
Dealing with that, we're talking about students in the legislature dealt with issues dealing with sexual identity and sexual orientation. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
And we have an obligation as educators to teach, to educate, to empower, and to love all children.
All of them.
All of them. And to give them voice to be who they are and to pursue what they aspire to pursue. So I am with you. We have work to do.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we have barriers to overcome. And, if we think about where we are right now as a nation, and quite frankly, with some of the things that we are dealing with across the state, who knows whether or not Moonlight would have been what it became. And I'm sure that Barry and Terrell and those really stood in their own truths relative to what stories they believe should have been told.
Absolutely.
And the world embraced that. Then we pray that the world continues to embrace our children and their challenges and who they are now.
Right.
Got to say something about Moonlight relative to a little shade that I have, and it's not against Moonlight. I had a little shade when I saw the principal in that film, who was Miss Cidel, strutting down the hallway as a good principal would, getting people in order and making sure people are where they're supposed to be and communicating as a good instructional leader. But what got me was that facility was not a Miami-Dade County Public Schools. You know this is real talk.
Okay.
You know this is real
All
talk.
right.
We gonna say it.
Okay.
It was not a Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Right.
And my understanding is that for me, I felt was a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Because sometimes, well, the word says a prophet is without honor in his
In
own home. So Barry Jenkins and those attempted, I understand, to navigate the Miami-Dade County Public Schools landscape.
Yes, several times.
Several times. And they had so many barriers. They didn't reach out to me, let me say for the record.
Right.
They didn't reach out to me. I don't know who, but my point is the bureaucracy prevented that film from taking place in one of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, which was the first choice of the producers. And if I recall correctly, I think the school was in Broward County.
It was.
It was Miramar.
Miramar High.
Miramar High School, right across the county line.
Right.
Miami-Dade County Public Schools bureaucracy did not allow that to happen here, and we deeply apologize for it. We missed our mark.
Yes.
We missed our representation. And I know how that is because as a
Right.
principal, I had so many different productions to take place under my watch. I don't know where the ball was dropped, where it was ignored, where it wasn't picked up. But I always had a little issue about that. This is Miami-Dade. This is a Liberty City. I know what that is. I know wait a minute, what school is that?
Yes.
That is not Dade County, that is Broward County. God bless them. We thank them for their
Right.
contribution. But in the future, we have to embrace the arts, our partners, our alumni in all shapes, forms, and fashion around the work that we do, especially when it comes to and involves our children.
Absolutely. We felt the same way. Let me just say that.
Say it. This is real talk.
We felt the same way. You know, they even brought me in as a, you know, kind of a consultant to try to figure out who do we need to talk to? Do I need to go to the school board? And that was, like you said, it was definitely a missed opportunity. I think hindsight is 20/20. I think people understand now that you give space to have things happen for your children and your community, you know, whatever that is. And so, yes, I was at Miramar High shooting that scene, and I was like, I wish we were at Northwestern or we were, you know, somewhere in Miami-Dade.
Yeah. And just for the listeners, the viewers, I'm going to make it plain. Again, Dr. Gallen, be quiet. No, this is Real Talk. This is
Right.
my show. Real Talk with Dr.
Right.
Steve Gallen. They wanted to shoot a school in Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Absolutely.
They were not allowed to.
No. Up until literally maybe the week before we shot the scene, even maybe days, we were trying to get that location.
And they had to shoot that same scene in a school in Broward County, which was Miramar High School.
Right. And we also shot the elementary school. We shot that at the African Heritage Cultural Arts Center.
Sure did. Sure did. So you're talking about Tanisha Cidel, graduate of Miami-Dade County Public Schools. Barry Jenkins, graduate of Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Yes.
Terrell
McCraney.
McCraney, graduate of Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Andrew Heavier.
Andrew Heavier.
Yeah,
We got to do better.
we do.
We got to do better. And then we see some music videos. I love Drake.
Right.
But I think he got some love at one of our schools and shooting his
Right.
God's Plan video.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, where's the love? Where's the disparity? Where's the problem? But hopefully in the future we continue to collaborate, we continue to be open-minded, and we learn lessons
That's it.
about this. And that's the future. So I talked about the past, I talked about the present, we talked about Moonlight. David Makes Man. Talk to us about
Yes.
that, because I know it's not only you, but we have one of our other students that you have a special relationship with, our very own. Talk to us about David Makes Man
Yes.
and your role and your daughter's role, a former student of ours, a student
Right.
at Miami-Dade. Talk to us about that project.
Yeah, so David Makes Man is a project, a TV show on the OWN network. Shout out to Miss Oprah Winfrey, who is so gracious. Basically, it's about a 14-year-old child prodigy, in a magnet school in Miami-Dade County.
Wow.
Absolutely. And we really tried, I say we, but Terrell really tried to get it shot here in Miami as well. But because of, you know, how expensive it is, so
Yes.
expensive to shoot, 6 months, we shot it in Orlando, Florida on Universal's backlot. And so, yes, it's about him navigating through the projects, which is really, it was Terrell's story, you know, a part of his story. Navigating through the projects, but then going to a magnet school and having to have this kind of dual citizenship, right? You have in the projects, you have to act a certain way, you have to be a certain way, and then you have to go to the magnet schools and you have to pull up. And you have to deal with microaggression, and you have to deal with all these things. Real talk, right?
Yeah, real talk, real talk, real
right.
talk.
Okay. So yes, it's about that. And then second season is, you know, he's grown up. Is an adult David, and we kind of transition back and forth. And my daughter Trinity Cidel plays his niece. So she is in about 7 episodes. It was wonderful to have her on set. She's in school. She's a student now at New World School of the Arts. But went through Norland Middle School, went to Norwood Elementary School. All my kids have been in public schools as well. And so it's just a wonderful film that is about mental health. It's about how you take care of yourself, how you take care of others, the situations that we find ourselves in low-income housing, how we can grow from that. And yeah, it's just a wonderful project to be a part of.
Alyssa, you watch it? You a fan of the show?
Yes.
Put you on the spot. You go say yes right after. Cidel sitting there. Tell me about your thoughts on the show.
Well, okay. So my mom likes younger David better than older
Okay,
David.
okay.
I feel like younger David episodes, they were more authentic because I'm a child. I can relate more to younger David episodes. And older David, the newer seasons, they were really good. They experienced a lot of his internal issues and what was going on in his head. So yeah.
All right, this has been so exciting. So we've had an opportunity to talk about the past.
Yes.
We're talking about what you all are doing in the present. Alyssa, talk to us about your future. We know you're going to Northwestern. You're going to participate in the PAYVAC program. You're going to be on the track team. But give us a prospective view of your life's plan moving forward. And I know you are an articulate, thoughtful young lady. What do you see as your life's goals moving forward?
So I would like to go to college. I plan to be an actress. I want to continue that. And I also want to be a businesswoman. I just opened a bank account. I want to start investing in stocks. I do a lot of things.
She does.
So, yeah.
Great. Ms. Cidel, but before I go there, I'm glad you said that, and that's something, if you can, Ms. Cidel, just follow up on what she said about the business side. A lot of us see the acting and the production.
Right.
In your program, have you had an opportunity to really dive in with the students about the business side of the industry?
That's a great question. That's a great question. What I try to do is to bring in some of my friends via Zoom to talk with them. I brought in young David to talk to them about, you know, what it is behind stage, what's happening on set, what's happening as far as how do you get into the business? Do you need an agent? Do you need a manager? And that's just really, really important. But also, I let them know there's also a nonprofit that you know that I'm a part of. My husband and I have. It's called Evolutionary Arts Life Foundation, and that is just a program to provide more access to all the youth, not just the youth at Norland, or not just the youth, just all the youth in Miami-Dade County. And I share with them barriers. I share with them things that I go through as an entrepreneur myself, how to navigate. You know, I share with them salaries of actors and actresses, and then behind the scenes. Okay, well, if you're not going to be in front of, guess what? You can also be a stage manager. And do you know that stage manager made $80,000, and this is what she told me? You know what I mean? So there's all these conversations that we have through our bell work, through our, you know, as I'm teaching a curriculum or whatever it is, and I'm always trying to give them the real deal about what's out there. What's out there is really important to me.
You continue to be an amazing blessing to the Miami-Dade County Public Schools, to Norland Middle, to our students, and quite frankly, your footprint is around this world. What does the future look like for Miss Tanisha Cidel?
That's interesting. You know, I am forever connected to Norland Middle, of course, to Miami-Dade County Public Schools. I am, you know, I've had several offers to go other places, and I can't do it. I don't know what that is. You know, some people are like, well, why are you still here? I really love it. I really do. There's nothing else for me to, you know, I can still do my professional career and have times where I'm in a TV show or a film, and I come back and I give all that I've learned there, and I pour it into them. And that's what it's about. It's a cycle. Because someone did it for me, someone did it for you. So in order for us to make sure that our students get the best of the entire world and become global citizens, we have to give them everything. As far as the future, I just wrapped a TV show with Issa Rae. I can't really say the title.
Okay. I understand. I understand. But I put. You done said the name Issa Rae. Okay.
Yeah.
All
so,
right.
But I served as the acting coach.
That's fine.
On this TV show, and yes, it's a TV show about rap. It's a TV show. Actually, was shot here in Miami, which I love, and that's another thing. Now people are starting to come to Miami, and I think Moonlight was a catalyst for that. They're starting to come to film things here. They're starting to tell the stories of Miami. So, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Well, thank you, Ms. Cidel. Alyssa Scott, thank you so much. You continue to give me, and I'm sure you're going to give all of our viewers, the hope, the inspiration, the optimism that we so desperately need during these times when we look at our young people. Miss Cidel, you know, you are amazing. You are amazing. Your work is amazing. Your legacy is amazing, and we continue to be blessed and thankful for you. As we prepare to close out, give a shout out, Alyssa. Who you want to give a shout out to?
I want to shout out to my mom. I want to shout out to my dad, all my friends at school. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Miss Cidel, who you want to give a shout out to?
Definitely. Shout out to all the arts and education teachers in Miami-Dade County and abroad. I'll give a shout out, of course, to my husband, who was very supportive of our nonprofit. And I want to shout out you, Dr. Gallen. And I say this, and I know we have to end, but I believe that if it was not for you, we would still be in that science lab. You came in and saw something great and said this is not adequate. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to get it.
Go.
But you came in and you saw something great with those kids, and you made a statement. And then when you came in, you looked around. This will not do. I will never forget that. And because of that, immediately you said, okay, we have to do something. And the reason that black box, you know, is sitting there, and it is a beautiful space. And I thank you. I was a part of designing it, and I just thank you so much for seeing them and seeing the work that we can do. I'll never forget that, so thank you.
Well, thank you. Miss Cidel has made me remove my glasses again as we close, and what she's talking about is she was able to make magic in a science classroom that brought the greatness, the beauty, the power, the purpose, the passion out of so many students, out of that small space. And when I saw that she was able to make magic there, and we had media wanting to come to the school to visit the cast and the students who participated in Moonlight, the space was unacceptable for the media cameras to come in and see. That was the catalyst for us not to ask for, but to demand better for our children.
Right.
And that resulted in what Ms. Cidel is talking about, a multi-million-dollar black box theater at Norland Middle School, of which she had her footprint, her handprint, her insight, and her guidance on its development. And that there is a beacon of hope and opportunity and a platform for our students to do all that they can and become all that they can become. So my shout out, Ms. Cidel, goes to you. It goes to you and the students, present, past, and future of Norland Middle School, who will continue to do great things and, most importantly, be great. Thank you. This is Real Talk. Thank you for coming on. And
thank you.
Any announcements about your application process?
Absolutely. We are in the off-cycle applications. We have applications right now open for theater, dance, band, and chorus, and art. We have a dynamic program there. Please make sure you reach out to me, tcidel@dateschools.net, if you want your child to audition. We're the best. We are the best. We try to give our kids the best.
Thank you. Thank you. This concludes another episode of Real Talk with Dr. Steve Gallen III. And until next time, let's keep it real. Let's work.